Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. I am Akshat Bahety, and in today's video we're going to do something super interesting. We're going to build a stock analysis dashboard using AI, and that is going to be done using ChatGPT, where we are going to have a GPT which allows you to analyze real-time stock market data. And not only that, I'm also going to teach you how to integrate an MCP server into ChatGPT to do stock analysis. So you will have two options by the end of the video, one will be to utilize a GPT to do stock analysis, another to use ChatGPT with an MCP server to analyze it. So let's get started with option number one. So I'm going to quickly show you a quick demo where we're going to ask it to analyze the Google stock and display the result in a canvas. So if you are someone who's researching about stocks, you want everything in a single place, you can use this, and you get stock terminal with multiple details, which I believe is super cool. So how do you actually build this? So the first step is technically we need to start by creating a GPT. So let me come here, come to explore GPTs and click on create. Now once you click on create, you will technically end up here, and I'm going to help you every step of the way on how to actually configure this. So the first thing that we need to do is you can give it any name. I'm just going to give it stock analysis, right? And given that this is a demo, I'm going to give it a demo option. This allows you to analyze stocks using AI. And then instructions, we're going to come to this in a second, but the most important part that we actually need to do is, if you see at the bottom end, is the option to click create new action. Now, what is an action? Action is nothing but other than just allowing AI to access external information via APIs. We are technically telling it that here is something that we want you to do, and this is the action that you need to take. Now what does that mean? So for that, we are looking for an API which allows you to get real-time financial data, because that is not publicly available. So we are going to use this company called 12 Data. The reason I'm using this is, first, they are pretty well known, and second, also they have a pretty good free plan which we can utilize here. So what we're going to use is we're going to use their APIs to bring data from this place to ChatGPT. Now, if you've not used APIs before, don't worry, we are going to do nothing. We're just going to ask ChatGPT to do everything that we need to. Okay, with that, let's come. So the first thing you need to do is just simply sign up, and I've already signed up, and just go to your dashboard, and your dashboard will look something like this. So where you will see the API credits used for the day, and the average and everything else, right? Again, and this is the API key that we're going to use in a second. But now is the fun part. We actually start building the actions, and I'm telling you, you don't need to do anything. So the first thing that I'm going to do is very simply go ahead and search for 12 data docs. So I'm going to search for 12 data documentation, and you can see here we come to the first link. All of this will be available in the description, so don't worry, and you see this. Now in this is completely all the information that you need to get started, but we're going to just come to market data. The actions, we are literally going to be super simple work, and literally don't worry about it. I'm just going to do copy and paste. So if you see here, I'm just going to select all of this option, which is the time series one, and just select this till the end of the day price. I'm literally copying and pasting. I'm going to come back and come to actions, and if you see here, I have the option to click on get help from Actions GPT. We're going to come on, click on this, and then end up here, which is technically going to help us create the actions. So I'm just going to say spec for all the below endpoints, and just say focus on the most needed inputs for each of the actions. Don't include everything, only what is required, and that's pretty much it. What I'm going to say here is very simply again, just make sure that the spec involves required information and not something crazy, right? So whatever is needed, whatever is actually required. So if you just come here, and I don't want to bore you with the technical stuff, as you can see, one of these parameters is required. So just focus on what is required. If something is not required, we don't need that, and you also don't need that. So you can see again, the following parameters are required, and which is required, let's keep them. If it's not required, let's not keep them, so that the spec looks super clean and easy to use. That's it. We have this code. I'm going to copy and paste this. In case we get an error, we'll just ask it to debug itself. So you see this, we're getting a quick error. Come back here, just simply say fix this error, and paste this. Now the reason is that we're using 4.0 model. I could have probably switched it to another model, but just because by default and I just missed that, it would have not got any particular errors as such also. But as you can still see, 4 is pretty fast and pretty good. And now we have this. So let's say we copy the new code. So copy code, come back to this and paste, and let's see, we don't have any errors. Now let's test this, but I am still unsure if which API key they use, because this is one of the most problematic things with GPTs, and that's why I'm going to tell you the other options also. So if you see here, it actually pulled the data, but very simply it has used my particular API key. Now the way that I would like to input the API key is something here, right? I've tried this a couple of times, it just does not work. So the least interesting option is technically just to take this and input in the instructions. So what does that mean? I'm just going to say in instructions, use the API key as 8. Now 8 is just a temporary placeholder, but whatever your API key is, you have to just enter that in the instructions. So please ensure that you're creating this GPT for yourself, or if you're creating for others, tell them to input their own API key. But with that, we have the actions ready, and the only thing that is left now is to enter the actual instructions. For that, we are again going to utilize ChatGPT to create a specific instructions. So what I'm going to come is, I'm just going to copy this particular code and come and open a new chat. And this is going to be super easy. I'm just going to say, create a specific prompt in the CoStar framework where all the actions mentioned below are used by AI to create a proper canvas at the end, which includes all the data in a stock analysis format. The goal of the prompt is to allow for an extremely easy stock analysis and create output. Okay, now again, this is a very again just starting prompt, but that's what you need. You can obviously think through and convert the prompt into something better. I have a couple of prompts which will be available down in the description that you can check out. So let it create the prompt. Till then, let me tell you about something. I would love to tell you about our community Better with AI, where you can actually learn how to build and sell more AI systems and also land your dream jobs in AI if you're interested to do so. Go ahead and check it out in the link in the description, and I'm telling you, you will be surprised with all the things that we are actually offering. Check it out, and I would love to see you there. Okay, with that, let's come back to the prompt. Now here, if you see here, we have got the prompt, and I'm not going to go super crazy on this. Again, I just need to see if it has captured most of the things, and that makes sense. So I'm just going to again copy this whole thing, and just technically for now, again, do a simple copy paste option to do this, because again, I believe the CoStar prompt is pretty handled well with 5.2, and it does a pretty good job at it. And I'm just going to for this, I'm just going to copy this. I'm just going to copy this and paste it into instructions. So one thing I'm going to remove is the last part and also the starting point, which is technically you can increase the prompt, and we're going to remove this. Now, one thing that we have to enter here is that very simply use the following as the API key. Now, please, again, when you're entering the API key, make sure that it's again, you have to get the API key from here. I'm not going to show this because apparently 12 data does not have very good API management, so I can't delete it afterwards, and that's a problem, but that's fine. I'm just going to again, expect that you can click on here and copy the API key. Okay, with that, we're going to come here and just simply you have to paste your API key, whatever that would look like. I'm going to paste mine. I've created all this. I've input the GPT, and now we can just click on create. I'm going to give it a quick conversation starter. Analyze Google and give me the analysis. Okay, and we are going to click on create. Now I'm just going to make sure that it's only me who's going to access this, because it has my API key, so you don't want this to be available for everyone else. I'm just going to click on save. Perfect. With that, you get the view GPT option, and we can come here and ask it to simply again analyze Google and give me an analysis, and we'll be able to go ahead and actually, as you can see, talk to the API and come back and present us with the options. As you can see, it has gone and just started outputting an HTML option, which is not what we want. We actually wanted to use the canvas, and that's why, as you can see, I always used to add canvas as the option here. But let's see what does the outcome look like, and you will get this kind of issues. So again, just you can see, I also get them. So I'm just going to say convert the HTML into a canvas format view, and now it will just put it in the canvas, and you can access it from there. As you can see, I'm going to click on preview, and you will get the data in the right format. Now you can add a chart, you can add something else if you want, but you get everything that we needed, at least in a proper consolidated way that you want. Now again, the idea here is that you can add more things to it. So if you want more APIs, more options, more market data, you can add that. I've just taken the most simplest example so that you understand how to build this. Perfect. Now, if you're good with this, but I'm going to show you my favorite option, which is actually the MCP. So, and the reason behind that is not actually the outcome of what it looks like, but just that you can use MCP in multiple other places, while if you just build this, you can just use it here. So simply to build the MCP, we're going to do this in the easiest way possible. The best thing that you need to get started with is just copy and paste this whole data again and come here. Once you paste that, the only thing that you want to do is convert each one of them into a curl request that is using only the required parameters. Okay, now that's all we want, because once you input this, it will convert this to the format that I can directly plug in into the MCP. Now to do that, we are going to simply come to n8n. Now if you've not used n8n before, don't worry at all. Just come to n8n and start a new workflow. That was the easiest place to get started. The first step is we are going to just search for MCP and select MCP server trigger. I'm going to rename this to stock MCP so we all can easily understand this. I'm going to keep this here. And as you can see, we already have all the things that we need here. Literally, that's quite literally it. So I'm going to come in, click on tools and search for an HTTP request. And I'm just going to reduce this so you guys can see this properly. Add an HTTP request. And here, the first option that we are going to select is click on import curl. That's how easy it is, literally, to build the MCP server. Copy this. Again, I'm copying this, pasting it here, and clicking on import. That's it. You technically have the first time series option already ready. And you can give it a description. This is used to get time series data for a stock. That's it. And once we have this, the only thing that you need to change are two steps. First, we don't want it to only stick to Apple. So I'm going to select and click on this beautiful magic button, which will automatically be described. The interval is fine, but I still want to give it an option that it can use different intervals. And the API key. Now here you have two options. You can directly paste your API key here, which is probably the best way, or the second option would be to choose an authentication. Just select on generic credential type, come to auth type, select query auth, and here, as you can see, I already have an API key. You can click on create new credential, just input here API key and paste your API key here. That's all you need to do. And then if I just again put something and just select the account, you can change this to 12 data 1, save this, and then technically select that particular from here. That's it. Or you can just paste your API key below. The only thing is, don't use them together. So if you're using this particular option, make sure to delete this. And in case you are not using this and you directly want to paste your API key, you can just select none. That's it. Okay, so we have all of these things ready. We can also quickly execute this step. I'm going to put this Apple and put one day as the interval. Perfect, and we got the data. This is just again, n8n being n8n. So that's it. We know it's working, and now we are going to do the same step for all the others also. Now, just to keep the tutorial to be a tutorial, just to make sure that we don't actually spend days on this, I'm just going to copy a couple of options. So first is going to be the quote option. I'm going to again create HTTP request tool. Come here, click on import curl, input the details, and then I can remove the API key because I'm going to use the authentication option, which is generic, and again select query auth. And the best thing is I already have it stored, so I select the 12 data API. and then again switch this to the model defined parameter, and then change this to code of the day, code of the stock. That's it. And then I'm just going to do it for end of the day price, and I'm going to write EOD stock price. Perfect. And then that's pretty much it. Now again, I have going to change this to this, and we have technically our MCP server pretty much ready. After this, the steps are super simple, and we're going to do them in a second. So the first thing is you have to just copy this URL. Remember, it's the production URL, so make sure to copy that. Okay, once you've copied that, click on publish. Okay, and I'm just going to write version name 1 and just publish this workflow. Done, and we have everything that we need. Now the fun starts, and the first thing you want to do is go in your ChatGPT settings, click on settings, go to apps, and below the apps, go ahead and simply select on advanced settings and click on developer mode. And this is important. Then you're going to click on create an app, and here we're going to input basic details. So I'm going to stock analysis. Okay, allows AI to fetch real-time data about stocks, and then remember the URL that we just copied, we're going to paste it here. And then there is no authentication, so I'm just going to put no auth and select I understand and come and click on create. That's it. Now we technically have the MCP ready. So the only thing that we need to do is just use it. Okay, now if you come back here, you will see again we have the stock analysis. I have a couple of them because again I've been using them. So I'm going to come here and select a new chart. Now that's all you need. You come here, come to more, select stock analysis, and ask it anything you want. So I will ask it, give me a chart for the last 1 week of stock market data for Apple, 1 day interval. Okay, and if we have done our job right, you will technically get the right data. So I hope so. You can see it will ask you to give it an option, and I'm going to click on retrieve, and it is going to now go ahead and fetch the data that it has actually got from the API. And then technically again, after that, create a chart or something like that. You can also again see that the details of this, so you can see what options it was sent, what details it sent, and everything else. Again, we don't need to worry about that because it's just now going to create a chart and do this. I like MCPs better because the point is it allows me to get more flexibility compared to GPTs. But again, I wanted to show you both the options that exist. Now, as you can see, we have got the final data and it converted into chart. You can also ask it to convert it into interactive chart or anything else. But that's pretty much it. So you can utilize this with multiple tools. You can add multiple options on this and just do a lot of fun research. Now, if you really enjoyed that, I would request one thing. Please hit that subscribe button so that you can learn more about AI and how you can use that in your daily life to become better. And also hit that like button so that this video gets pushed out to more people, which helps me. Thank you so much, and I would love to see you in the next one. Bye-bye.